Hey everybody, thanks for coming in to check out the Storm All Road review. Really appreciate you taking the time to come by and give it a look. A couple of quick specs here. This ball is drilled for me at 65 by 5 by 30. One of my go-to pin-up drillings. Surface is your stock 4000 Abralon. We've got the NRG hybrid reactive cover stock. And it's a high flare potential ball with a 257 RG and a 4.6 differential. This ball is different for me. We can get right into it here and we'll get going. But this ball for me is a very different ball. I can't quite put my finger on it. I can't quite explain exactly why. But this ball is just a really difficult ball for me to score with. I track all of my scoring averages. I track every ball that I use, every game. I can tell you that my first ball strike percentage right now is 67% of the time. With this ball, my average is barely 51%. And I can't quite figure this out. So my review is based off of not just one game in this game here. This is based off of me having used this now for 10 or 12 games. And I really struggle with this ball. This shot you're seeing here was, it wasn't ideal, it wasn't great, but it wasn't totally destroyed either. It was a shot kind of midday. There had been people on it, so there was a little bit of carry down, but the ball itself just really, I had to labor for what you're seeing here. I really had to make good shots to make this happen. And you see here, I got a little bit fast. This ball was 18.48 miles an hour. Now for me, I'm always 18.2 or 3, sometimes up to 18.4. But for me to miss it by 0.2 of a mile an hour and have that kind of thing happen where the ball just doesn't move at all is really concerning to me. This ball here is 18.34. So you can see that when I'm in the 18s, the ball will work, but it's really hard for me to throw a ball where, every 0.2 of a mile an hour that I'm off, the ball just will not work. I'm not the throw bot, and I can't constantly hit that number. And this ball for me has been a really difficult one to kind of master. I've used it on fresh. I've used it on a sport pattern. And I really can't quite figure this ball out. Now that said, I just bowled a tournament this last weekend and got my ass absolutely handed to me by the Krypton oil pattern. It was the weirdest pattern I think I've probably ever bowled on. And I think this ball might have actually worked pretty well there. Because I think that's where this ball really shines. I think for some people, this ball is going to be really, really good. I think if you're a sport player, and you need something, that's going to maybe give you a little more in the back end. You can see it's pretty clean through the heads. It starts to kind of read in the mids a little bit. It's not hooking in the head though. And it's not a real snappy motion in the back. It's just a pretty smooth motion. So I don't mind the motion. My issue is that on a typical league pattern, it's just really hard for me to throw strikes with it. It just doesn't seem to respond well to the way that I throw the ball. To have a 51% first ball strike percentage for me is pretty low because I'm at 67% right now, and it's actually 66.94% as of the recording of this video. And you can see here, this ball didn't slow down. This ball was 18.3 miles an hour, but I want you to see what happened. This thing just all of a sudden picks up and goes. And this is where my issue is with this ball, is when it comes to repeatability. As you know, when I grade, I always grade on that scale. Can I repeat the shot? And this ball I really struggle with. And then of course there's the carry, and this is one of them. And I know we all leave 8 pins at one point or another, but I leave a lot of 8s or 10s with this ball. It's really kind of strange. So we finished out this game not bad. It wasn't great. It wasn't bad. It was a decent game, but I felt like I had to really labor to get to a 214 with this ball. So question is, does the Storm All Road make the bag, and is it the main bag or the ball tote? Well, it's neither yet. It shows flashes, but it needs time. Final grade on this, I gave it a B, and I think it's important to note a couple of things here. So the appearance, I think this ball is really rad. I think this ball looks tremendous, how it looks. Repeatability, and that is, does the ball repeat? If I do the same thing, does the ball work the way I want it to? And with reliability and repeatability, I scored both of those 3.5. The finish is, how does the ball finish through the pocket, through the pin deck? And I feel like this ball doesn't always hit, and I feel like it's not incredibly strong. So 18 points there, and we're sitting at a B. So doesn't make the bag, but I might try some surface changes or try something different as we move forward here. So from a previous video, people wanted to know what was in my main bag, so I will show you that right now. Here we go. We've got the Columbia Baller, which is a pin-up drilling for me. I really like this ball a lot. The Conspiracy Theory and a pin down. The Venom Shock Pearl is in my bag and will be there for a long time. I have a couple undrilled. And then we go right from that to the Storm Phase 3, which if you saw that video, again, you know why that's in there. And then the After Dark Hybrid from 900 Global. I want to say thanks to Arapahoe Bowling Center for allowing me to come in and shoot and do what I do there. I really appreciate it. Those guys over there are great. And then also to Bobby Layton over at Bobby's Pro Shop. He's one of the best in Denver, and there's some good ones here in Denver, but he's one of the best, and he's a guy that I trust with all of my stuff. So thanks, Bobby. Thanks you for watching. And if you guys need to get a hold of me for any reason, there's my email. Really appreciate you taking the time to take a look. Thanks.